Hello and welcome to a new video on my channel. This video will be about the perfect objection handling and how you can deal with objections when you're on a sales call. I handled thousands of objections in my life. I generated millions in revenue with sales calls and objection handling. And I want to teach you how you can overcome basically any objection and handle it in a professional and yet efficient way. So let's start inside. The basic goal of a sales call is to make someone purchase your service, if you look at it at first. But if you look at it a little deeper, it's more. It's about emotion. It's about trust. It's about building a relationship. So from the major part, how it looks, you start talking with the prospect, and in many cases, so our sales scripts are based on questioning. So in the beginning, you are like a doctor. You ask tons of questions. We ask on average like 30 or 40, something between 30 and 40 questions. So you ask questions, you identify the pain points of the customer, and you're not asking, what's your pain point? Because that's too obvious. And also, if someone asks you, what is your pain point? Most likely, you don't know that right away. So we need to have a line of questioning. I put in a document below here where you can download some of the questions we are asking our prospects inside a sales call. So you go through the questions. And from there, after the prospect answered the questions, you guide the conversation into the direction that the prospect is asking you. Okay, Moritz, what are you selling? What are you doing? You didn't tell me before, so I'm very curious. And then you have a mini pitch. And the important thing here is that you are vague in what you're saying, because we want the prospect to ask you more questions. I will also go through that in another video, because today's video is about the objection which comes after. So just to give you a little frame how everything looks. So after you pitched and everything is clear, you got all the answers to your questions, the prospect got a better understanding of what you are offering, then it's about time to go inside the objection handling. And objections are basically just questions the prospect has. So in my opinion, people, and especially all those gurus out there, are making a way too big thing about that objection handling part, because it's just answering questions. And you as a business owner, as a salesperson, you should know the answers to those questions. And you should be honest. Of course, when someone asks you a question, you guide them through it, and then you want to bring them from point A to point B, because that's the goal. Otherwise, people are not spending money with you. So when an objection comes to you, for example, I got the objection, okay, tell me about a time where it didn't work when you did business with them. So that was kind of a hard one, because everyone loves to present themselves in a good way. But then you just need to guide them through it. And the objection handling part is basically there that the prospect is gaining trust in you. So they have questions, you answer them. And when you answer a question, then it's basically +1 in the trust score. So trust score, let's imagine from 0 to 100. And the more trust you build up, the higher the probability is that the prospect is going to purchase your solution. Okay, now to the framework, how you can handle basically every objection. First of all, preparation is one of the most important things. So what we do is, after each sales call, we sit down, we have a Google Doc where we write in every question we got and every answer we got. If we didn't like the answer we gave afterwards, we refine it and we optimize the answer. So in the end, after each sales call, the list grows and grows and grows. And you will come to a certain level of saturation when it comes to those questions, because most of the questions are the same. There are just some questions which are a little different. And then you just add those little different questions, and you have time to optimize the basic questions over and over again. Most of the time, those questions are about your service, about the outcomes and everything. The framework. You get an objection, and in the beginning, you don't know how to handle it. So what you do when it's business related, you think about a story in the past which is fitting, which is working with that question, because people like to have stories. It's not exactly, to be honest, about the exact same thing what you're saying in that handling the objection part. It's about the story behind that people can relate with you. So let's take back with that example where someone asked me, okay, where didn't work with the company together? So then I told them the story and I explained why it didn't work. So that's always important. You bring in the story and you tell why that's relevant to them. And that's basically the whole simple and super powerful framework. Tell a story and then why, answer the question, why it's relevant to them. And then you can build up on the different stories. And then when they have a further objection, when they, for example, say, how is it with the pricing structure? Then you can refer back to the story you just told and you can adjust that story in a way that you can make it relevant to your prospect again. So it is very simple and yet super powerful. And if you learn how to tell the story, so from the beginning to the end, so basically how to tell a story, that's something on top of the objection handling part. So how to tell a story, you start with a basic storyline. It was back in 2023, we helped the German company who was struggling with X and Y. So pretty similar to what the prospect's company is struggling with, so that they can relate to the story already in the beginning. Then you go a step further. Then you're like, okay, 2 months back in, everything worked just fine. We did good results, but it wasn't good enough for us. So we put it to the next level. And then we did X and Y. So that's when we noticed the importance of, let's say, personalization and the lead quality behind it. And that's when we learned how to do X and Y, which is relevant to your prospect. And from there, so you got the basic frame, you told them what you did, you somehow also mentioned a little bit of struggle, that it wasn't enough for you, and then you showed them the expected and the dreamed outcome. So what you did on top to achieve the certain goal. And then you hit them, bam, in the last round, you hit them with real testimonials. So basically, then for that German company, we generated a sales pipeline worth of 18 million euros in the last 18 months of working with us by using the frameworks mentioned before. So then you have everything, you have a great story, and from that story you can you can use that story and turn it into any objection handling process. So whenever there's an objection, you can refer back to the story and explain the objection based on the story you told. That has one simple benefit. Your prospect who is on the call asking you that objection can relate and can understand it, because questions and answers as well can sometimes be abstract. If you tell a story that's very simple, people understand it. People love stories and they will remember it also after the sales call, because don't think that you're the only one where your prospect is having a sales call with. They have sales calls with many other companies, agencies, or whatever. And if they can remember a sales call afterwards because of a story, they will tell their colleagues. And whenever there's a question, they can refer back to that story you just told them. So it's very powerful. Make use of it. And in case then you're still struggling with getting more clients, there's a link also down below here in the video. I just put in the link, and I want to be full transparent. The goal of that video, that funnel page you click, is that you book a meeting with me or one of our team members. And I want to be full transparent. Also, if you don't click there, doesn't matter. That's all right. I just wanted to tell you in case you're still struggling with getting more clients. And other than that, that was it for that video. I wish you a wonderful day, a great day, and stay awesome. See you in the next video, and let's get out and handle some freaking objections. Let's go! Bye bye.